Mercedes Moné and Maya World for the Owen Hart Foundation Tournament Final. Going into the show, this ended up being like the match I was looking forward to the most because it was the outcome that I thought and clearly the audience, I feel, this was the finish that they were most invested in. Like, I think, the Ospreay Swerve match, you're going to get this unbelievable match of the year contender. The cage match, you're going to get, but I don't think anyone was invested in a finish as they were here. And this was, I just thought, an unbelievable.
This one's real.
It was real. And you could have, as much as like, okay, Mercedes makes sense. Like, I just thought there was a real solid argument for Maya World winning this. And you could tell this crowd wanted to see Maya World. And part of it was like, she also had to have the match of her life. And I think everyone will agree she did here with
for me. Even outcome aside, you are faced with the very real challenge of seeing this woman who has never been put into this high pressure of a situation be able to pull off something incredible on live television against somebody who is legitimately her idol days after suffering, personal tragedy. All of that is not just storyline. That is that is the
third
real
from
challenge.
The top on what is going to be a loaded show, the most impossible pay-per-views to try and contend with, and you're going 25 minutes. You're right. Like this isn't going from, I've headlined TV or I've had some big pay-per-view matches. This is her going from she was doing undercard prelim enhancement and now is thrust into this position. Like it was daunting when you look at the circumstances here. Moné is out and she's in all of this pink and black gear with pink and black hair as well. And it's super heated at the beginning and they're going for quick pin attempts right away. And it's not like it's just 100% Maya. It's like, let's go Maya, CEO. They're going back and forth, which really worked. And this is where Walker Stewart brings up calling Maya World's first matches on the Texas indie scene, which I thought added such an incredible dynamic that I never would have thought of by you putting Walker Stewart on this show and then realizing that. I thought he added so much to this, just that connection as well, especially towards the ending of this. Maya tries for the statement maker early on, but it gets blocked. And they head to the floor. They do the spot where Maya's on the floor and Mercedes leads the crowd in counting and they reach 10 as she goes to the floor to break the count. And I didn't know really what the purpose of this was because it was almost like the crowd was waiting for this count out to be called.
So I didn't really know what that was either. There was another awkward moment in ring where the camera focused on Mercedes, and that was because Maya was having a bit of a wardrobe malfunction that they were trying to have her fix. So I don't know if this was just more of that where they were trying to cover for her.
Listen, this match, it had its rough edges, but they worked so much of it. We'll talk later about this buckle bomb spot, but
it's Mercedes versus a rookie. It's supposed to be rough. If you had to script this perfectly, you would script it to be rough.
I never felt this veered though into the oh no, they've messed up this spot. You can see what they're trying, and it was just no, this is what you would legitimately do. And she just, okay, I can't lift her here, so I'm just gonna throw her into the turnbuckle. And they did not bat an eye with any of these moments that they had in the match, which again is with somebody that is going into the deep end of the waters for the first time in her career. And again, this crowd, I just thought they were this was the outcome they were the most on the edge of their seats for, because I don't think they legitimately had any idea who was going to win this match, and the drama just kept building and building in this. Moné is taunting away at Maya, stating, you're never gonna beat me, and the crowd just gets louder and louder. Maya manages her Shining Wizard, but Moné's too close to the ropes, so Moné goes for the Three Amigos, and the Frog Splash lands on the knees. She applies the Statement Maker and then kicks off the rope, and Maya, who's done all these cool transitions into covers in the lead up to this, turns it into a jackknife cover. So just the most simple cradles, the crowd was biting on because that's how she beat Athena, and it's just all these ways of she could just catch her with any of these. Then it really, I think, escalated when Maya started these bridging fall away drivers, and she just does one into the second, and then the third throws her to the floor. And this just looks so goddamn cool, but basic. And it was just like they were all behind Maya at this point. And Moné blocks a sunset bomb. They're struggling, and this is where she can't deliver the buckle bomb. So instead, she just hits this running sunset and blasts her into the corner, hits the double knees, and we see a backslide attempt countered, and it's into the moneymaker for Maya, who gets the moneymaker here. And this is where we get the dueling chants. And after the moneymaker spot, she kicks out of that, and we get the sunset bomb to the floor where Moné just crashes to the floor. Maya, who nearly slips here, hits the acai moonsault, and into the ring she goes, hits a follow-up moonsault, and then Moné just barely gets her shoulder up. And Moné counters into Maya's cradle. Maya gets the statement maker, and it's Maya doing the famous spot of Moné where she kicks off the bottom rope, but this time Moné is ready and reverses into the statement maker. And you have Tony Schiavone, who just he yells this one line that I just thought it was so perfectly timed. It's just like, he's like, use your right leg. He's just pleading for Maya World to reach the rope. And it's one final backstabber back to the statement maker. And finally, Maya World taps at 24 minutes and 55 seconds. I thought this match was just amazing. If people say this was your match of the show, which sounds nuts with this main event we're going to talk about, I would not. This was number 2 for me, and it was very close. But in terms of the drama, I just thought this was like this was career making for Maya World, and I do feel she should have won this match because this place was going to explode for her. I guess they have their plan for Moné, but man, I just thought that this was one where she just had the match of her life, and this crowd, they were so ready for this woman to win. But it was, I think they're going to follow up very strong with her because this just could not have been better.
I felt they gained plenty with her. Like, to me, the end goal of this match was never for Maya World to headline Wembley in one of the title matches. It's for Maya World to get a standing ovation in defeat. And I think for that to happen, which was already going to be a tall task, I mean, they needed to have a match worthy of a standing ovation, and they did that, I thought Maya World was incredible. First of all, you have to take into account the incredible nerves of somebody like going through what she's going through, being thrust into a position like this that I can't imagine the prep, she would have like had to do for something like this. But then she does this, and I thought she delivered. And like, maybe you can point to like to me, like a blemish, like the slip on the ropes for the acai moonsault, and her recovery from it showed, I thought, a lot more like skill in her ability to just say like, well, I slipped, but I'm going to keep going through it. Like, she could push through that high pressure situation. She could push through mistakes, but her ability to, I think, tease the audience from the tap when she was in that second last statement maker, I thought was outstanding. Like, she was in that hold for it felt like forever, but like, I want to say like 30 seconds, 40 seconds.
It was so dramatic. It was like the audience was just like shrieking, and the announcers did such a good, like, go back and listen to Schiavone yelling, and you've got Walker like, come on, Maya. It's like, they put their like professional broadcaster objectivity aside, they're rooting for Maya. It was like the crowd was like, they were just like, this was just an amazing 30 seconds that they peaked towards, and then doing the tap at the end, which was like, certainly there will come a time that you could run this back in a year, and it could be that, like, this could be
Wembley next year.
This needs to be Maya's big win down the road, and maybe like that's what they're looking at is the long term.
And that's why I'm glad she didn't beat Mercedes, because number one, I think you want to draw this out. You want her to like impress the teacher, eventually beat the teacher, right? I mean, she's already told that story through Athena, but now you can tell it on a bigger stage with Mercedes. But I also felt like this, to me, was one of Mercedes' finest performances. Like, I think it's one thing to deliver a great match with somebody who maybe is at a similar level to you. It's another to completely orchestrate a match. And I think Carrie, somebody who's a relative novice to this level of match, to something that became so emotionally filled and action packed on live television. And I thought, like, Mercedes should be incredibly proud of this match. It's a match that I think shows her growth and her maturity as a pro wrestler, especially pushing through that turnbuckle, powerbomb attempt. Again, this final statement maker battle where, oh man, I just thought it was so good. It lifted this card, I thought, to the highest emotional peak up until like this point in the show. And it's not a level I expected them to be able to hit, but they got there.
Do you see it being Mercedes and Tekla at All In? Because that is a weird combo.
Yeah, it would be. Who else do they have? Because Willow.
Well, the question is, do you see Tekla losing this belt before All In?
I guess
I would say no.
Yeah, because what are your options? Montreal, and that's, well, you could do it on TV, but like, what do you see? Because Willow is I mean, I guess going to be among the biggest baby faces that you could have to oppose Mercedes.
And they're already starting the vignettes for her return, which is weird. Like, they're only settling her belt this week. It's like her comeback is like starting now.
Right. Yeah. So, like, Willow's destination seems more TBS, rather than World. But if not Tekla Mercedes, what are your other options for that match?
Yeah, they certainly have not built anyone up to be a challenger for Tekla, at least
on the babyface side of things.
Yeah, not nobody comes to mind.
Yeah. Well, that'll be it then.
After the match, we go to Renee, who's with Athena, who just cuts a scathing promo on Maya, stating the better woman won, and Maya's win over her was a fluke. So it does look like the consolation prize will be Maya going for the ROH Women's Championship.
Which sounds silly because, I mean, this is the longest reign, in like AEW, at present time, really like one of the longest reigns in wrestling. So this should be quite the accomplishment for her to finally take the belt off of Athena. And if they're looking for somebody worthy, they found it in Maya World, right? So I just hope it gets some play, not just in ROH, but like on Dynamite, and on AEW pay-per-view, because I think it just deserves a bigger platform.
It's July on the Post Wrestling Cafe, and that means our extensive G1 coverage begins starting July 11th. We're going to have reviews of every single G1 card right up to and including the finals in the middle of August. Plus, Rewind Away takes a look at 2 episodes of Heels. We're also going to be going back to 2005 for a review of WrestleMania 21, and it is the start of our double shot episodes covering this season of Dark Side of the Ring. Plus, we are going to dive into the 3rd season of WWE Unreal. All that and so much more can be yours by signing up to the Post Wrestling Cafe. It gets you XL editions of Rewind to Raw, Dynamite, and SmackDown, Collision Course on a weekly basis, MCU later, and so much more.